This is Dris. He's an 18-year-old kid, and recently he left Cluely, which you probably know as the most viral startup of 2025. But what you probably don't know is that this kid Dris was the actual guy behind their UGC program. At Cluely, he built a UGC program that generated 100 million views in 2 weeks. Absolutely insane. I wanted to understand the roots of this Cluely virality, so I dug into his backstory.
I have built my viral sense over many years. Every time I try a new platform, I have to regain my instinct on what people enjoy watching.
Before Cluely, Dris started out on TikTok dropshipping fake AirPod Maxes. He had no product, no experience, just a phone and a Shopify store. Then one morning, he woke up to 200,000 views and his phone blowing up with orders. Those views and revenue were nice, but he also came away from this dropshipping experience with a very sharpened internet marketing sense, refined by the hyper-competitive marketing environment of dropshippers since they have no differentiated product. Now, fast forward to Cluely, Dris noticed something about UGC programs. Almost all of them struggle for a few reasons. One, because they find one content format and stick with it instead of experimenting.
A lot of the reasons that a UGC program fails is because they are not experimenting enough and they find one format and they stick with that even if it is not the most converting or most viral it can be.
And two, it gets really hard to manage creators at scale. So after running up Cluely to hundreds of millions of views, he left and built a platform for other founders to replicate his methods at Cluely. He calls the platform Methods. It's his new platform where creators can make money posting short-form videos. In 7 days, he blew up Methods to 1.2 million ARR. But what's unique with Methods is that he's doing something completely different than most of the dozens of UGC programs that I've seen. He actually pays creators $40 just to make their very first video, no matter how little experience they have. And then he gamifies the entire process of content creation instead of just managing creators who treat it like a job.
Humans are instinctively hive-minded. They want reward immediately. They are not interested in delayed gratification. We pay people on Methods $40 first video. They're hella happy. They start making more videos.
I think this is the new way to do distribution. At the time you're seeing this, Methods has paid out more than $500,000 to creators with a little over 50K creators on the platform.
Everyone wants to make money and everyone can make money. They just don't know the methods. And when users join our app, we actually give them $40 their first post and they are instantly hooked.
In this episode, you're going to watch Dris break down how he built the viral machine at Cluely, how he understands creators better than anyone else, how he gamifies content creation to make people feel like they can actually make money. This is a masterclass in creator psychology and mass distribution. Let's get into it. This is the Superwall podcast, and I'm Joseph Choi, founder of Consumer Club. The members in the Consumer Club Discord and the founders I interview on the pod build apps at a median of 1 million ARR. A lot of these apps that make the most money run A/B tests on their paywalls to make more revenue with the same number of users. Superwall has a lot of data on the thousands of apps that use their paywalls, so recently they put together a free AI tool trained on 422 profitable paywall experiments. It lets you upload a screenshot of your own paywall and gives you an experiment idea to increase your revenue. You can use it for free at paywallexperiments.com. Also, if you're building a mobile app doing at least 100K a month in revenue, Superwall hosts dinners in San Francisco and New York. They keep each gathering small, thoughtful, genuinely useful for everyone. If you meet this criteria of 100K a month in revenue and want to invite, apply using the type form in the description. Let's get into the pod. I want to ask you about this tweet. So you said, life update, left Cluely to start our own thing, already at 1.2 million ARR, 7 days in stealth. Had no idea making money was this easy. Announcement soon. And this was September of
September
2025.
10th. Yeah, this is less than, 5 months ago.
Yeah.
Like
Okay, so what is this company? Like, how did you make 1.2 million ARR?
Instinct, yes. So the first week when we left Cluely, we were like, okay, low-key, how do we make money? And we realized, even at the start of Cluely and when we started Instinct, that the one thing every company desperately needs is distribution. Like with AI and the amount of slop and noise on the internet, it is harder than ever to get people to actually care about something. And companies understand this, and they are willing to pay a lot of money to get distribution. So yeah, I was just talking to a bunch of companies, and I was just going on sales calls. We had no product. We had nothing tangible that we could sell them on. And I would tell them, we're going to get you a lot of views. We're going to get you users, and we're going to make you money. And obviously every company likes to hear that. And the first week we signed contracts worth, 1.2 mil annualized. With a few companies. And one of the first companies we worked with, Descartes, they were this $1 billion AI lab. They had 60 people on their engineering team, 2 people on their marketing team, and they were trying to push this new AI photo video consumer app So we talked to them, we told them about UGC, and we ended up getting them 100 million views in 2 weeks at sub 30 cents CPM. They were top 30 in the App Store, and the program's still killing it. I think lifetime 400 plus million views. But yeah, we just talked to companies. We're like, here's what we're going to do for you. And they gave us money. And then we executed, and they were happy. We're happy. And every company we work with is happy, because the principle at Instinct is we work with winners and make them even bigger winners. Like, I don't want to work with losers. No company wants to work with a loser. Yeah, winners work with winners, and we help them win even more. It's the motto. Win.
That's awesome. I love it. Yes. Like, the fact that you're able to get so many like high value contracts within 7 days is pretty insane. But I think your run at Cluely probably had something to do with it. I feel like you really built your brand, or just like continued to build your brand with Cluely. What did you do at Cluely?
Yes, I will not take all of the credit for being, I don't know, the creative person behind a lot of things. We had a very talented team at Cluely, and I can only take credit for a portion of that. But starting out at Cluely, I guess I originally applied to be an engineer. I've been coding for like the past 10 years. But I started doing like the video editing, and then I moved to more of the video, like the cinematics. And I worked with Ben starting out to, I guess, scale UGC program in the first few weeks from 0 to 100 million views at sub $1 CPM. And yeah, just like a bunch of the creative stuff and content. And yeah, over time we I don't know, grew that and scaled that. And yeah, like over the summer, Cluely was probably, like you said, one of the most, if not the most talked about startups. And it was a great time, and I love Cluely. But yes, like mostly I guess the creative, the cinematics on Twitter and other socials, and planning those, and filming, editing, recording, like you see on the Instinct website.
Yeah, that's the really interesting thing that I see about like the whole Cluely discourse, is a lot of people focus on the product launch videos and like the cinematics on Twitter, because I think just if you're in the tech industry, you have a Twitter account and you watch the launch videos, but you might not be like brain rot scrolling TikTok and like seeing all of the viral UGC that you also did. But the UGC is actually what drives more of the users, seems like what you're saying. Like the product launch, for example, it was sort of rage bait a little bit, and it got a lot of investors and potential employees talking, but it wasn't like, it wasn't really targeted at users as much. Like, would you agree with that? And it seems like you said that Instinct, you pivoted to mostly just doing UGC now instead of the cinematic.
I think for content, you can have content that is extremely high converting, or there is content that is extremely viral, and it's very difficult to find a middle ground. I think for the Cluely, like the product launch specifically, that was something that was intended to go viral while also being like a great product demo, showcasing, I don't know, what the product actually does, because lots of people on Twitter at the time had no idea even what Cluely is. So I think that is in part a reason it went viral. But for UGC, the main focus for lots of companies is conversions. And for companies we've worked with, it's 4 times higher converting, 10 to 20 times cheaper on average than any other paid user acquisition source. And yes, like I think product videos or launch videos on Twitter are like probably the highest top of funnel thing you can do for tech specifically. But for like sustainable growth at scale for that converts, I think UGC is the method compared to anything else you can do. Even paid ads, UGC performs much better.
UGC is the method, hence the name methods. Okay, so let's look at this for a little bit. So you did cinematics and UGC at Cluely. You realize UGC is like how you actually get scale and downloads. And then it seems like you actually use methods to get more users for methods. Is that true?
Yeah, let me put you on game. Here's the method. We realized early on, that the number one most important thing to company building is framing. And when we started, we were like, methods is the UGC marketplace app. And when we did it, no one really wanted to join. They realized, like, what is UGC? But we framed it as the new way to make money. Make money online. Everyone started joining. That's where we saw like very explosive growth. Our user count is doubling every 2 weeks. I think if you search make money online, we're like the first search result. Yeah, basically someone joins TikTok or Instagram and they see a methods video, they go on our platform, and then they create even more methods video. It's like an infinite user method, and then from there they join other programs. And for companies, like, they see us as kind of the way to get more creators for their internal UGC programs, and we handle like all of the, I don't know, acquisition side of sourcing creators, which is a problem lots of companies struggle with, and they don't even know where to start. But on the more of the company side, like sourcing creators is just like a single aspect of sourcing, start like running UGC programs, and there are a bunch of other things we realized early on, like handling payouts and making scripts and reviewing posts. And early on, we were using like a bunch of different software to manage these programs, and we realized it would be much more, I don't know, consolidated into a single platform, the headquarters for running UGC, which is, we recently launched a self-service platform to run scalable UGC programs on our app methods. Even on the company side, you tell them we're going to run your UGC program, they usually are, I don't know, maybe confused depending on their, I don't know how tapped in they are. But if you tell them we're going to make you money, we're going to get you conversions, we're going to make you viral online, they are obviously willing to pay a lot more for that. Like methods, like we want to frame every gig, every side hustle, like drop shipping, crypto, UGC as not like a gig or a side hustle or any other term. We want it to be a method. Like methods are the new way to make money, not just online, not just with AI, but like in the future, the only way to make money will be through methods. There will be no jobs, there will be no McDonald's workers or even like growth at startups or podcasters, unfortunately, or even founders. Like everyone will just be on the methods app making money.
That makes sense. It's like gig economy.
Not gig, it's method economy.
Method economy.
Methodonomy.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Is this number updated? 500K claimed on methods,
I
50K creators.
Yeah, these are slightly outdated. We have to update it every few weeks, but it is much or slightly higher than that.
Yeah, it's still a
yes.
lot. Like $500,000 paid out to creators and 50,000 creators. So how do you get 50,000 creators on an app? Because I feel like a lot of people think of creators as like people who have a bunch of followers that have experience making content, but it seems like this approach is like you start with the hook, which is make money online. So it's literally anyone can do it, and you just teach them the method and then they do it, and then they get paid only if they get results for the brand. So is it hard to like educate people on how to do these methods?
It is extremely difficult in several ways, which is why I feel like no one has done an incredibly good job. There are a bunch of other platforms which, like, in terms of creator quality and scale, are nowhere near us, even though we are a much, I guess, newer company. But yeah, like in marketplaces, it is notoriously the cold start problem where you cannot get companies to sign up on the app if you don't have creators, and you can't get creators if you don't have companies. And we realized the easiest thing to do would be to get companies, and then we could probably get creators later. We're like, we'll pay you $30 to make a video, because our thesis is everyone wants to make money, and everyone can make money, they just don't know the methods. And when users join or creators join our app, we go through a full onboarding where we actually give them $40 their first post, and they are instantly hooked. They're like, okay, wait, it's this easy to make money. And from there, we provide like the exact scripts and example videos to use for UGC content, all of the resources on how to warm up an account, how to post like trial videos, how to actually make good UGC, how to like do lighting, like pretty much everything. Because anyone has a phone, anyone can record videos. The difference between it going viral versus it getting like 100 views is very minimal. And yeah, we strongly believe that anyone has the potential to go viral and make money if they know methods, they know game. And content is something that can be easily trained. And if you ask any content creator or any, I don't know, person who is extremely successful in what they do, you ask them, so what books did you read, or what courses did you watch? They'll probably say, I just did it and I learned from there. And I think that's the best way to do it. And over time, if you just post more content, you will naturally get better. And the one issue we're facing right now is if users do not see immediate results. They think their first video, like their second video, it gets like 100 views, they just quit. And we want to reinforce the fact that if you keep trying, it is impossible to fail. And this kind of goes into the startup philosophy, where startups is kind of a game of surviving as long as possible. And if you can survive longer than any of your competitors, you will just win. It is a game of, even in life, like if you can outlive all of your friends by 100 years, you will be the winner. You can take all of their wives. Even in startups, like every other company dies and you survive, you can take their employees, you can take their IP, you can get like a larger share of the market. In UGC, the creators that have stuck around since the beginning are the highest paid creators on the platform. This is not like a coincidence. Just doing things more makes you better and helps you make more money.
Yeah, I feel like making content that does well in the algorithm is actually not that hard. It's just more of a psychological thing, because if you make a piece of content that flops, part of your like lizard brain is just like, oh no, like nobody liked that. It's so embarrassing. I'm literally gonna die. And then you just don't try again. So I think something really interesting you do is like you give people $40 for the first video that they make. It reminds me of like casino apps or like gambling apps where they just like they give you these big rewards in the beginning to kind of hook you, and then it makes that psychological scariness just a little bit less of a burden, and it just kind of encourages you to go put in the reps.
Yes, I agree. I think humans are instinctively like incredibly hive mind, and they will only look at what other people are doing or are not willing to take risks, and they want reward immediately. They are not interested in delayed gratification. I think most people are unwilling to take the risk, and they need the upfront incentive, which is why we pay people on methods $40 first video. They're hella happy. They start making more videos.
And I feel like you're just really good. Like as I'm talking to you, you are so Gen Z. Like I feel like you're just very fluent in like how Gen Z thinks and the problems that they have, their pitfalls, their motivations. And a lot of like, it's like very internet culture, kind of like hustly. And it seems like you got exposed to that mindset just through doing the reps yourself and like doing internet money stuff. Like I saw that on your website, you did a $50K a month e-com store selling fake AirPod Maxes. Do you want to tell that story?
Yeah, of course. I mean, like I grew up on the internet. I'm a young buck. I'm not sure how old you are, but I'm maybe younger.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
Amazing.
Yes. Yeah. So this was, I think, my freshman or sophomore year in high school. I just sold my Minecraft YouTube channel, and I was looking for the next method. And people would tell me about dropshipping, and at the time I was like, oh, this is super saturated. This is probably not going to work, but I started to think, okay, well, let's say it did. And I would go on AliExpress, I would look for products I thought were very interesting, and I would try selling them. And the first one I tried were these fake AirPod Maxes. They were like extremely low quality, and I tried selling it before I even got the product. It took like 3 weeks to ship at the time because it was hella slow. And in between, I think I tried like 10 plus products. I tried selling Apple Watch bands. I tried selling, I don't know, like these fidget toys. Nothing really worked. And I remember when I think I put in like $1 or $7 for the domain, $1 for the 30-day free trial for Amazon, and I spent $20 buying the headphones. And what I would do is I would take at the start I was like using my own content, but it was actually pretty bad. And I realized I could take other people's videos of like recordings of like unboxing like real AirPod Maxes or different videos like showing the real product. I would cut it up. I would pay someone $5 to do a voiceover. I would add captions, and I would post it on TikTok. And I remember like this was for like the first month and a half. I barely broke even. I was in a hackathon at my high school, and in 2 days I made $750. I think I got like second or third place, and I was questioning, like, I just spent 2 days making more money than I did like this whole like past 2 months trying to do the dropshipping thing. Why am I even doing this? And I remember I went home that night. I made one more video. I made 2 more videos. I think I posted them. And the next morning I woke up, I was in my school bathroom. I checked my phone, and I had in like 200,000 views, and my phone was blowing up with the Shopify notifications. I was like, yo, this is hella crazy. So yeah, I started doubling down. I made like content in that same format. I had like a series where people would comment like, do you ship to this country? And our our thing was, we ship to every country, and like $5 international shipping, free shipping domestic, and we had like promotions like, enter this code, you get free shipping. We have free shipping for the next week for the New Year's, whatever. Which is also like a psychology thing. People do not want to pay for shipping. People want to pay for the product and nothing else. They want to pay for output results, not the BS or abstractions in between. And I remember I had like 25,000 followers, 18 million views plus organic. My account got banned. I was like, damn, that hella sucks. And then I made another account, scaled it to 20K followers, several million views as well. And I think around Christmas Eve, I got banned off Shopify, and I had like 10K locked up because I did not type in my bank account the last 4 digits correctly. I like flipped 2 digits. So yeah, I was hella stressed. I was like, wow, I just did all of this work for nothing. My 10K is gone. This was my life's work at the time. I thought this was my the peak of my existence, and I realized that I feel like what really defines very successful people is not what they do when they are successful, is what they do when they're at the very bottom and have nothing. And the only thing that they can do is work and improve. And there's no point in coping or thinking, why did this happen to me? You just have to push forward and be the best version of yourself and just do more things, honestly. So I spent the night. There were a bunch of sites that were copying me. I recreated my site from someone else who copied my site, I guess. And I took their images, whatever, remade the site in like a night. And after that, like even without running, having any natural content, I was still making like 2K a day. I restarted the TikTok account, got more followers, and then I ended up getting banned on Shopify twice. Banned on Wix, got banned by my payment processor Stripe. I got a cease and desist from Apple because it was super popular. Yes, and then I shut it down from there. It was kind of a long story, but yes. It's hustle. You have to hustle.
Yeah.
Like lots of people are unsuccessful because they're unserious about what they do. I try to be the most serious possible about everything. Like it is life or death. And some people, I don't know, they do not understand that. They're like, yo, this is just like even my parents. I told them it's like they did not understand. Like this was my life, selling fake headphones. Unfortunately.
Did you learn a lot about viral content from that? Because it seems like you were trying over and over to make a viral TikTok, and then eventually that one day you got all the Shopify notifications from a viral video. Did you build your viral sense from this experience?
I have built my viral sense over many years, and I think it's kind of like a misconception that you learn to go viral once, you can go viral 100 more times. Every time like I try a new platform or I try like restarting in a new niche or platform after a few years, I have to kind of relearn. I have to regain my instinct on what people enjoy watching, what formats are going viral. And like I said, the main thing with content is scale, and that you have to keep posting until something hits, and once something does, you just copy that format. And if a format can go viral once, which is a similar idea we apply to our UGC programs, it can go viral 100 or 1,000 more times. With different companies and different niches and different creators. So yeah, you just need one format to work to make up for all of the 100 other videos that got 100,000 views. And yeah, I think the actual like concept of videos changes over time, but the idea of scale is persistent. Even when I was making Minecraft YouTube shorts, I think I spent 6 months with like 0 subscribers, 0 views, and out of nowhere, my post started blowing up, and I realized what was actually working. I doubled down on that and made, I don't know, like the whole thing with content is kind of like finding a format and scaling that, which can be applied to, I don't know, startups.
I'm curious about the Cluely UGC program now. So you had a lot of, like you had a YouTube channel also. What you said it was like a gaming channel, right?
It was Minecraft YouTube short channel that I sold like 4 years ago. But yeah, I got 200,000 subscribers, 9 months, 180 million views. It was top 500 fastest growing channels at the time. Yes, pretty sick.
Okay, so you have a lot of like algo experience. You have the algo instinct, and so when you're designing the Cluely UGC program, it seems like this was at a scale that was bigger than like your dropshipping or like your YouTube channel even. Like this was 200 million views. Could you just explain like what was the Cluely UGC program? Because I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions around this too. Like a lot of people just don't even know that this was a thing.
Early on, Ben and we started with like finding viral formats and sourcing creators. And yeah, we immediately found a format that started to work. It was kind of the Snapchat format. And then once like the same thing with formats, once it works, you just send it to other creators, see what works. And a lot of the reasons that a UGC program fails is because they are not experimenting enough, and they find one format and they stick with that, even if it is not like the most converting or most viral it can be. So after that, we kind of killed the format and we expanded to other things. And another team member took over like scaling the UGC from 100 to 1 million. But yeah, like the Cluely UGC, I believe it was very successful and very converting for anyone who's not on Tank or Twitter. And that's the main way that people heard about Cluely, like the average person, average student, not just because they thought the videos were entertaining, but because they thought Cluely might have been a useful product, and download it and pay for it, which is the goal of most companies.
So how many creators did you have in the UGC program?
Actually, I believe like not very many. Like I think less than 20 consistently posting, and that's another misconception about UGC. Like you do not need or like want or need scale immediately. It is always best to have a solid foundation. Start with a few creators that are able to consistently get you views, and after that you can I don't know, scale to many more creators. But managing, like I was talking to another company, they were telling me about their UGC program, and I asked, how many creators do you have? How many views do they have? They said in the last month they got 500,000 views, and they told me they had 2,000 creators, which is pretty crazy. Like, you do not need a lot of creators. Like, ideally, you have one creator generating like, I don't know, 1 million, 10 million views a day, and those like top like 1% or 0.1% of creators are like 90% of the views, and everything else is kind of like the experimentation. Yeah, like scale in terms of content, but in terms of creators, it's slightly more difficult, and it is much easier to make someone a better creator or have better output versus like 10xing or 100xing your number of creators.
Yeah. What you said about finding new formats instead of kind of just resting once you find a good format is key. How do you actually continuously come up with new ideas? Is it centralized, or are you getting ideas from everyone else? Is everyone just scrolling an hour a day? Like, how do you actually come up with new ideas consistently?
Yeah, here's kind of a method. Like, it does for UGC, like content scales in terms of like one video can go viral several times in like different ways. It does not make sense to innovate on entirely new formats when you have something that is working for other companies. So what we do, a lot of our most successful formats are formats that have been taken from other companies in similar niches or completely different, or other like standalone creators, and we've adapted it for our own product methods or other companies' products. And yeah, we just keep doing this at scale. We get more, we find more reels or TikToks that we think would be interesting for this company or this product or for methods, and we adapt it and send it out to creators, and that's how we're able to have like a constant influx, because people are always making content. Like, I don't think there's anything that's going away anytime soon.
So it's just like finding formats, but then also iterating on existing formats.
Yeah, just mostly like iteration on what is working. Like, it does not make sense to reinvent the wheel. And if something goes viral once, it can go viral many more times.
Interesting. So you don't believe in like coming up with completely original concepts without referencing something that's already working?
I think all new ideas, in a sense, are references of existing works, and you take two unique ideas and you combine them into something new, and that's where innovation comes from. We don't innovate in the sense of we're creating two different, like, unique bases. We're combining two new ideas where there's an existing format, an existing product, and we're swapping one or the other and creating, like, in a sense, like a new format for a new niche, a new market. But I would not call it like entirely innovation. It's just that if you have like foundations that are working, why would you adapt on that?
So when you reach out to creators and you're about to invest into organic social and maybe boosting those videos with paid ads, you don't want to just let the creators do whatever they want. Most of the app founders I talk to on this channel basically have the same content philosophy. The videos need to go viral, but also convert and promote an app, and ideally are also repeatable. And those formats are like gems and really hard to find. That's why TikTok can sometimes feel like a lottery system. So what a lot of Consumer Club members do is they use this tool called SpyTalk, which brain rot scrolls hundreds of thousands of TikToks and just finds the most viral ones that promote apps. So here I search for fitness, gym, workouts. Let's say you like run a fitness app. I'm going to sort by most viral. And here's this 106x outlier video that promotes a fitness app, and it shows a text hook, it shows the image in the background, and then on the second slide it has this CTA in a really creative way. And SpyTalk has been the secret weapon for growth strategy for 11 Labs and Amo and Voodoo, which is the app studio that owns BeReal. So I recommend SpyTalk. It really is the only other tool I explicitly recommend on this channel other than Superwall. What was like your first ever experience with business? Because you did the YouTube channel, you did Clearly, you did the e-com, but it looks like you did other stuff before.
Yeah, and I think I've tried basically every way to make money in person and online. I tried starting a speaker company in 5th grade. I tried selling shirts. I tried selling calculator games, did design, website design, video editing, pretty much everything. In summer of 5th grade, I taught myself how to code. I became the youngest winner of the Congressional App Challenge. I made an app where, like, every school is almost just like they're trying to fundraise, they're trying to make more money. And it was an app where a student could create a lemonade stand or any other like physical goods, and they would be able to process transactions through their device, their iPad, their iPhone, and these funds would be sent back to the school for fundraising, and they can redeem rewards, like I think it's a t-shirt or something. I actually think it's a pretty interesting concept. I'm always looking for bigger things to work on, and I felt at the time there were bigger things I could be doing.
But I want to bring it back to methods. It's like so interesting that this is kind of the thesis for you right now, because I feel like for the past 5 to 10 years, people have been trying to figure out this, basically, like what is the next iteration of influencer marketing? This is not influencer marketing, but what is the next iteration of like creators and content and stuff like that? So what do you think, like what is the insight kind of at the base of your differentiated take? Because there's been like clipping platforms, for example, or mass AI generated content, or like people have been doing UGC training programs forever. Like there's all these like UGC creators on Instagram Reels and TikTok, and they're teaching other people how to do how to make money with UGC, and they have these like courses and stuff like that. But no one has really put it together in a way that today, like people think of methods, people think of you guys, but there isn't like one main big name in like, oh, this is the thing that is, the forefront of UGC. So my question is just like, what's your thesis, and what's the insight underneath it?
Like I said earlier, I think the main insight is framing, where we started off calling this a UGC platform or a content creation platform, and people were not extremely interested in that. But like I said, as we said, this is the new way to make money online. Anyone can make money on methods. That's when we started seeing lots of growth and people actually being retentive on the platform. And on the company side, like every company wants to make more money and get more users, and some companies also want to go extremely viral. If we just told them we're running UGC or influencer marketing, or I don't know, we're going to run your socials, it sounds extremely, lame and uninteresting. And that is not something like I would pay for. And I think we're still in the very early stage where people have not fully understood that the value is always created in the application layer and never in the actual technology. Like if you look at who invented, like people probably don't know who invented the internet and which companies were most successful. It were not the companies that invented the internet. I believe it was, some guy who invented the HTTP protocol. Like Google, Amazon, Netflix, those are the companies that were extremely successful. And I think a lot of it comes down to framing, and we have not found the actual great use cases or abstraction for AI. Like we call the internet today the web or the internet. We don't call it by the actual protocols used to transfer data or save data. You look at data centers, we call them the cloud. I think we're in the extremely early stages of AI, where our bet is in like the next 3 to 5 years. People will not call it AI or artificial intelligence, as like the term artificial already has a very bad, stigma around it. I think it will be completely different, and people are still incredibly exposed to the technology, which is why things like I think AI is not fully mainstream yet. Like if we take OpenAI's billion monthly active users at face value, that's still like 7 billion people in the world who likely have not heard of AI or ChatGPT, and there's a massive delta in selling things to people who are completely technologically adept or not understanding of AI or any other technology. Framing is everything, and that is the only way you will be successful, if you can take the same product and frame it in a different way where it has mass appeal. And I think for lots of things, UGC, content creation, even AI, we have not found that framing, or we're starting to. For UGC, it's methods, and in the future, methods is the way to make money with AI online.
It's very thoughtful thesis, actually, and there's a couple things you said, like the things that will actually matter are distribution and just like how the application layer, the distribution of the application, and then the application itself. So it seems like design is also really, like distribution and design are very important. Does your team have like a really cracked designer as well? Like is that you?
Is me. I've been designing for many years, and I think more than design, like people look at design as the UI or the actual visual interface, but I think like the arguably the more important part is the user experience. And experience in apps and anything application, like consumer facing, is the most essential part, aside from distribution. And people want to feel performative. They want to feel like something is working. And even in terms of like functionality, if something is less, I don't know, functional than something else, if they feel like it is working better, they will still use that. Like, I don't know a single person that has learned a language off of Duolingo. There are much better ways to learn language. You can hire a tutor. You could, I don't know, read books, watch movies. But Duolingo still has many hundreds of millions of users because people feel like they're learning, even though if it doesn't actually work. Which is like another reason why these standalone like calorie tracker apps or Bible quote apps or any other consumer apps are extremely successful, because people want to feel like something is working. And if you have a standalone app for a single task, I will trust that much better than any other, I don't know, abstraction or interface where I ask ChatGPT, count my calories, or look at the subscriptions that I have not paid for or still paying for. People want to feel performative, and that is part of the thesis where experience is extremely important to the average user. And it should be as abstracted and as simple as possible, mainly because people are very unintuitive on how things work. Abstraction is important, framing is important, and this all goes into the concept of, I don't know, framing, experience, distribution. They're all, I don't know, it's semantics. They're all the similar idea.
Yeah, exactly. What was the example? Like a calorie tracking app, like you can use ChatGPT to just take a picture and then say, how many calories does this have, and use some kind of prompt, and it's probably going to give you the same result as a custom, wrapper app. But the experience of using the wrapper app is easier to understand. It's more straightforward. It's a little bit less work depending on who you are, and that actually matters a lot more than the actual model underneath. That's like a lesson that a lot of app builders can learn, depending on which side you're on. Because I feel like a lot of people are really obsessed with the distribution side, and they just kind of want to make money as fast as possible. And then, the app has to feel good, like you said, but then it actually has to, well, hopefully it also like is actually useful. Like imagine if Duolingo was actually useful and super addictive, then it would be like double the size it is right now, according to your assessment of Duolingo. But same could be said with any other app. Like, you want your app to be genuinely useful and solve a problem, but you also have to make it feel useful to the and like feel good and entertaining and stimulating and kind of hack people's minds a little bit. Is there a way that you train both of those sides of your brain?
I guess now that I just do it. I just do things. And like, back to what you said, I actually think utility for the average person is less important. Like, Duolingo, I think objectively it does not work at all. A lot of these standalone consumer apps are not like insanely functional, but people think they work, so it works. Like, your mindset is, or the consumer's mindset is so important, which is why I think framing and experience and distribution are kind of like all the same thing. And people think they're like segmented, like different parts. And this is how we're going to do this on like our social media. Here's how the content's going to look. Here's how the app's going to look. Here's how our users going to feel. This is like this is a single experience. And you don't, like, to be successful, you don't like read a book. You don't listen to talks or mentors, and I prefer to not listen to anyone for any advice. I think it's all noise, and even if everyone in the world is telling me I am doing something wrong, I will completely cut that out, because no one, like, the reality is no one has no idea what they're doing. The people have sold billion-dollar companies, people who work in venture, even several startup founders. They are only sharing what has worked best for them, and rarely this is what works best for everyone else. And the reason that things are the way they are, most things are the way they are in the world, even though there's no handbook for 99.9% of things, is because it is the way that it has worked for people before, and people look back and follow that, instead of trying to actually question, why is this happening? Why is this the way that things are? And that is like the fatal misunderstanding with most people in startups, and even starting out, where they are trying to look after the greats and copy exactly what they did. You will not be extremely successful in anything copying anyone else. You have to find a way to innovate, or go to a new market, or differentiate your product. And always question your ideals, question why you are doing this, question why other companies are doing this, or other people, and never take anything for face value, because that is how you fail.
Did you have that pushback as you were creating methods from anyone?
Everyone is, why would you not do an agency? Why would you not just do launch videos, or do marketing consultant, or business or whatever, computer science. Like, I think I would be extremely skilled in any area of startups I would be in. I think I'm a great designer. I'm a great engineer. I'm great at social media. I think I'm pretty good at sales. But I think the best use of my skills is like building a company and doing many different things. And people who are just have less ambition and think they are more intelligent or more successful than you will try and push back and tell you this is what you should be doing, or here's what I would do if I were you. And I like to completely disregard any fundamental, I don't know, thesis or startup ideology or even like in company building. I think a lot of it is like completely like 180 on how it would actually be. And like I said, these are the way things are because it is what has worked for people before. And people before, yeah, I always get pushback on everything I do. Like even people I don't know, they're like, what the hell are you doing? This is insanely stupid. I talk to lots of people, they question why I'm doing certain things or why this is the direction we're taking the company. Like I think UGC isn't an incredibly, like I think it has a lot of potential, but it is not the future of what Methods is. Methods is, like I said, the way to make money. And there are lots of decisions that have been made every part of the process, and a lot of them have not worked out. I've made a lot of mistakes, and the expectation is that we fail several times and we make mistakes, but it should never be because we are careless. It should be because we are, I don't know, stupid or naive. And yeah, like I think what people say are noise, and they never have the full context on what should be happening or how your company should be operating.
The way that you get conviction is through direct experience. You just do stuff and then you get feedback from the market.
That's the only way to get conviction and understand what is actually working.
And so what has been the biggest signal for you besides the million ARR in 7 days?
The biggest signal is several more million ARRs after more than 7 days. But honestly, like I don't do the things I do for money. I don't do it for fame. I don't know if you know this, like I stopped posting on or as frequently on Twitter or socials because like I have not needed to. I think it's like you are a jester sometimes if you are frequently posting for, unless you have like a real intention. Like lots of the times I tweet or post on social media or be because like I want people to see like what I am doing or I'm interested in selling, which I guess is one of the reasons I'm on the podcast. I want companies to watch this and go to hq.methods.app and sign up for the Methods self-serve platform where you can run scalable campaigns. But I do it for the love of the game. And early on when I was younger, I thought I was doing it to make money, but I realized what I actually love doing is solving more challenging problems. And anytime I felt like I was less ambitious, it was not from a lack of passion. It was realizing that what I was doing was extremely easy. And if I extrapolate, I will be extremely successful. I want to always be solving the most challenging problems in the world. And when we started Instinct, or when we started moving more towards Methods, the two questions we had are, what is the future of how people interact with technology? And in the future, how will people work? And I think they are very important questions, where every other company in AI lab is focused on the 1% of people who already know about AI or are tech adjacent, where the more interesting problem is giving like distributing wealth and like a product to the other 99% of the world. And even on like the AGI perspective, it's like extremely interesting to think about what AGI would look like. But the more interesting problem in my mind is what happens after AGI. How will people work? Will there be like a permanent slave underclass where we will be working for AI overlords, and there will be like 1,000 or 10,000 people who control all the wealth and have all the power in the world? And yeah, no one is focused on that, and that is the problem we want to solve with Methods. What does work look like in a post-AGI world? How will we interact with technology? And that is a question every day we look and solve.
So if anyone's watching and wants to escape the permanent underclass,
yes, exactly.
There's
slavery.
Consumer. You had this tweet that says it's insanely easy to build viral consumer products. If you can build apps and post content that are guaranteed to go viral, strongly expect most companies will pivot to consumer in 2026. What are some of the new ways that you feel that you've seen consumers interacting with technology lately that you feel will be bigger in the future?
Yes, I am extremely interested in the AI hardware and AI like wearable space, and I think it's kind of the Wild West. Like consumer apps and low-key B2B seem like very easy and hardware is just like such an interesting and competitive space, and you have these Chinese startups cloning viral, like hundreds of Chinese startups cloning viral products, and 3-4 weeks trying to like mass distribute it. The same way that companies or small like app builders are trying to clone viral apps and make like a few bucks off of it. I think it's super interesting, and there are so many things that I think are very intuitive or natural in hardware that people just completely get wrong. Like one of them is I believe that the hardware should enhance the software and not the other way around. And lots of AI, hardware, and wearable companies are going software first and going hardware first and using software to enhance the product. But the actual retention and use case is in the software, not the hardware. And if you have good software, you will give people a reason to enhance it with a hardware device. Yeah, that's like the main problem, or I think thing that people get wrong. Like the most successful AI hardware product I've seen, I believe it's called Claude. It's like this thing that sticks to the back of your phone. It's a $130 hardware product for professionals. Basically, it's always recording, it listens to your sales calls, and there's software that is able to generate transcripts, generate summaries, notes, pretty much everything. And I believe in 2024, they made like 250 mil ARR. They have $130 product, $20 a month software. And it is such a good example because it has, one, a very good use case. Two, it has a very specific niche. And three, the software is extremely good. And in this way, the hardware enhances the software because you do not have to have the app open or always be recording. You just have a small device that sticks to the back of your phone. It's incredibly intuitive, and I think like everyone in hardware, especially AI wearables, is getting that wrong. But yeah, I'm very interested in that space. Maybe methods pivots to an AI wearable. We'll see.
That is very interesting. Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of people think of there's like the generalized like AI companion hardware take that feels like a lot of people are trying. And then there's the note-taking one, which is a little bit more specific, which seems, I mean, yeah, this makes sense. I feel like this Claude, this is like, actually pretty cool.
What is the actual use case for most of these AI wearable devices or hardware devices? And I don't think there's really a clear one, which is why a lot of them have not reached mainstream appeal. And also, like the abstraction part, they're still calling them AI wearables. Like it is very surprising. Outside of tech and startups, most people like don't like AI. Like I was in Minnesota for Christmas Eve, and I was at my friend's house, and they were all like around the dinner table. They were talking about how they hate AI, how if they see that AI is used in a product, they will like not support the company. And I actually think this is the general consensus outside of like tech and startups. And it's actually crazy. Like people need to be abstracted from the technology or the actual, functionality as much as possible. If it is too complex, they will not understand and go on to, different conceptions of how technology or processes actually work. But if you make it simple and very, direct on what this product is, they will be much more understanding and interested in your product. Like I don't think not too many people mainstream are interested in another AI hardware or AI wearable device. But if you're able to find a very specific use case and are able to, once again, abstract it from the actual technology, it will be incredibly successful. And I think no one's done that yet. And maybe we will. We'll see.
This is a random tangent, but I feel like dropshipping really prepares you for this mindset of specific use case and a specific application of technology. With dropshipping, like your edge is marketing because everyone is dropshipping the same exact product. So the only thing you can do to stand out is just positioning it towards specific audiences or specific demographics or specific use cases. And this is basically just a piece of metal that has a button on it that has an app, and the app is like the same as Granola or any other like AI note taker, but it's so specific and it like solves a specific thing.
Exactly. Yes.
So this is I love this product. Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. Is there anything in the pure software world where you're kind of like, oh, that's actually interesting? I can see people using that more.
Yes. This also goes to the abstraction thing, and like I think it is extremely easy to sell things online and make money. Like I think things are only difficult because people like in their mind they overcomplicated it, or I don't know. Like once you do like some things, you realize maybe this was not actually as hard as I first thought. And I know like several companies doing AI photo video generation consumer apps that are extremely successful and just actually printing money but the interface and the application, like the actual experience, I feel like it is not there yet for consumers. Like it is still extremely overcomplicated, and it's still positioned in like it's an AI image editor. It's like an AI like whatever. There's not like a real like good use case, and the mainstream consumer. It would just not be very appealing. I think there is a way to make these like AI like video image editing apps. Like I think in the next year we will see an extremely mainstream AI photo video editor app that will be extremely intuitive and everyone will love using it. Like it will be the next Instagram, the next Snapchat, because no one has actually figured out what makes an AI consumer product actually good and accessible to the average user. Because lots of people have like the SF tech bro mindset of, oh, I'm going to add this feature and users want to see this newest like AI open source Chinese model on my platform. Usually the average person does not care. The average person does not even, I feel like a lot of people don't even know what, China is, or like open source models are, or even what a model, like people who are interested in AI know what the model is. Everyone else doesn't, and it is still like very confusing. Like I keep saying this, the average person in the world is like extremely unintelligent and unintuitive, and they need to be told exactly what something is and exactly how to use it for any value to be provided to them. And this is like, once again, the experience part. I feel like no one is doing like a very good job, and I realize like distribution is not the hardest thing in the world.
But AI image and video generation, that makes a lot of sense actually. I feel like some of the best ones I've seen have very specific use cases, like headshot generation, for example. It makes it really easy to understand, okay, like here's what, but you still can't name like a single one that is the dominant one.
Exactly,
and if I could,
yes.
if you have to think about like, oh, what's the best image generation tool right now? Or what's the biggest one? You probably think Midjourney, but Midjourney was on Discord for like a really long time. It only recently got an interface, and still like most like general population does not know about Midjourney. It's like maybe their first interaction with AI generation was probably through ChatGPT. So there's definitely still a lot of apps you could make with image generation. Are there any like specific categories you feel bullish on?
I am bullish on one specifically for content creation. Obviously, I would know slightly more about that. But I think like the AI for productivity or getting work done is ChatGPT, but there's no clear winner for AI for like fun, for pleasure, for enjoyment. Like what is the Snapchat or Instagram or YouTube or TikTok for AI? And I feel like there's not been any viral like mainstream consumer AI app yet. That's what we're waiting for. Maybe they're going to launch on Methods. Maybe it is Methods.
For founders watching this, actually, maybe they should actually just get on Methods and make $40. Like, is that a good idea? Do you think founders should just like be making content just to learn? Because I feel like a lot of people are trying to figure out the strategy of how do you hire creators, how do you manage content, but it's never going to work if you don't kind of intuitively have the feeling of like what it actually takes to go viral. So do you think that more founders should be making content themselves, like with their phone?
100%. Like I think the best way to learn or run UGC programs or scale content is obviously going to be through Methods, through our enterprise product, and also making videos on our app. But if you are trying to do something, like if you're trying to scale something, like as a founder specifically, I think you should not hire for things that you are inexperienced in or would not be able to do. Like I'm talking very early stage. Like of course, if you're, CEO of Target or a larger company, like you would not be in the manufacturing plant working like $2 an hour, like with child slaves. I think for lots of founders who are trying to grow a company and they don't understand distribution, just make content. Like how hard is it to record one 30-second video every day? Even for other companies, you're able to learn much quickly what is going viral, what companies expect. Even hopping on Methods, making content. I think every founder watching this should go on the Methods app, download it, get your first $40, maybe use that pre-seed funding, and then continue making posts and understanding what is going viral, what content should I make. Because in the app, we give like personalized like AI feedback on every post and why something might go viral or why it might not, or how you should hold your phone or change the lighting or add captions. There's lots of insights. There's lots of delta everywhere. Lots of people do not understand things, and the best way is just doing it. No one's stopping you.
Well, I think that's a good call to action to end with. People watching actually get, I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. I think people should definitely get on Methods as a founder and learn to make content. Try to earn your first $40, get the feedback, go through a couple iterations. Thanks for being on the pod. This is really fun. I enjoyed hearing your story, and
yes,
I think people should actually do this.
Of course, anytime.
Awesome. Something you might not know, most of the founders I cover on this podcast are hanging out right now in the Consumer Club Discord, sharing with each other what's working now for consumer apps. So you can apply to join Consumer Club if that sounds interesting to you. And this is the Superwell podcast. Of course, you got to check out superwell.com. We have more videos on the channel. So dig into those to learn from app founders who are willing to share super tactical stuff about app growth.